And so yeah, stepping out your purpose can really do damage on you. Like if you are ever low, if you're ever depressed, if you're ever feeling less, less purposeful, maybe it's because you've stepped away from something that was divine to you, that was given to you. Um, and you're not ruling over your assignment.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Be Insightful in Technology podcast. I'm your host, Shakiria Johnston, and I'm here to help you gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be insightful in technology. Today, I have a guest that I met on the morning meetup, which is an amazing group full of entrepreneurs and a lot of talent. So I'm going to have her introduce herself and we'll get into the podcast.
Thank you. Hey guys, my name is Wonakee. I am a UI UX designer, full stack designer, a full stack web developer. I'm based here in Jamaica. I grew up in the UK. I was born in Jamaica, grew up in the UK. Came back here, and now I'm based here. I'm also a proud member of the morning meetup. And yeah, this is how I met my friend here, Shakira.
Like the morning meetup, honestly, is so full of people. And I've been waiting for somebody that's in tech to just talk and introduce themselves. And you introduce yourself and you talked about things. I was like, let me hit you up and let me see if I can get you on the podcast. So here we are.
Give thanks for that. Give thanks for that. Give thanks for giving me this opportunity as well. I appreciate it.
No problem. Oh, I do want to ask you, like, why did you join the morning meetup before we get into, like, the meat and potatoes of the technology part?
Do you know what it is? Last year, I think like June, I lost my job. And I was just over being in Jamaica and I just wanted to leave. So I went to Panama for a little bit for like 2 months, but I went by myself. So it was like, I thought it was gonna make me feel better, but it actually made me feel worse because I was missing my dog, I was missing my people. And so I came back and my vibration was very low. And funny thing is, when I went to Panama, my god brother showed me Social Proof podcast. And I would binge watch that podcast every single day just so I could get out of the feeling, the low vibrations, or like the type of feelings I was having. And just watching other people's stories, seeing how they went through, trials and just, elevated past that, it kind of gave me this sense of hope. And then obviously when you watch the Social Proof podcast, there's these cuts like David, join the morning meetup. And I was like, after like the 100th episode, I was like, what is this morning meetup? So I eventually just joined, not based on any expectation, just like, let me just see what's happening over this side. And I joined, did a $1 trial, and I was going to bed, just can't wait to wake up the next morning to join morning meetup. Like it was so different for me, being around so many different people who, were so motivating, so inspiring for me. And so long story short, I joined just because I was in a low place and I wanted to find a higher vibrational environment to kind of feed on.
I feel you on that. Like that's why I needed it too. It's just like I was lacking that sense of community towards people that were doing things that I just aspired to do. I just didn't have nobody around me that was doing those things. So it just felt like whenever I come to somebody in my friends and family group, they just be like, good job, continue. But it just felt like I need advice. I need somebody to help me.
But that's it. It's like for me, I'm the forward thinker in my family. I'm the forward thinker, I'm the innovator among my group of friends. Most times I'm the one that's doing the teaching, telling them about the new thing that I learned or whatever. And I realized there was just no one in my circle apart from my dad, who, when I spoke to, I wasn't getting any knowledge that was meaningful to me, not no one in my circle. And that was kind of getting to me as well. So when I joined the morning meetup and just being in a car for an hour, among like over 500 entrepreneurs, and we're reading books every month, and it was like, all right, cool, yeah, this is it.
Like that is honestly one of the best things of just having a group of people available. And everybody is just so happy to talk to you because they're just like, you're in the same group as me. And it really helps me understand that that community is really important. So
yeah,
community will take you far.
No, that's it. That's it. Community is very, especially after COVID and the pandemic, because my community was really at my college. My college was that place that I could have gone to and met these different people and spoke about these different things and laugh, and and then after that was taken from us, we're inside, and your circle got really small because you're trying to protect yourself. And then it was like, okay, it's funny because I be seeing people that I used to like chill with on a regular, and I don't even remember their names because I haven't seen you in 2 years, right? So I lost my sense of community, and I needed one. Like, and yeah, morning meetup, it came at such a timely place in my life. It's like a blessing.
So I'm glad that it, helped you elevate in all honesty.
Yeah, 100%.
So outside of the morning meetup, how did you find your passion in technology? Or, did you want to aspire to get to that UX UI design part, or where do you aspire to go with it?
No, it was an accident. Like Jamaicans will call it buck ups. Yeah, it was buck ups. Like I was one of those kids that I grew up in the UK. As I said, I grew up in South London. And I was one of them kids, bro, where I didn't like school. I didn't care about it. I never, right, it's so embarrassing to say now, but I didn't go to class. I didn't like, even when I was in class, I was sleeping. I just wasn't interested. And then it was kind of a thing where my mom realized that, and she was like, you need to go back to Jamaica. You need to see some people who look like you, who have ambition, who are doctors, who are lawyers. You understand? You need to find some role models. Like South London doesn't have that for you. Long story short, after 10 years of living in the UK, my mom getting into some trouble, my mom was just tired, and she was like, yo, you're going back to Jamaica. Sent me back to Jamaica. And so now, if you've never been to the Caribbean, or if you're not aware of how African cultures work, they're very, very strict on education. That was the first culture shock when I came here, was that it was embarrassing if you weren't smart. Versus when I was in the UK, it was almost corny to be smart. It was corny to be a nerd. In Jamaica, if you're not smart, people looking at you sideways like, what school you go? Like, what school did you go to? Like, so when I got here, it was no longer cool to be the bad girl, the disruptive one. People put you in a box, like label you as delinquent. And so my mom got me into a Catholic school here, very good school, Immaculate Conception High. And so I was forced to kind of, pay attention to academics. I was a sports girl. I thought I was gonna be a professional footballer. That's where my environment, everybody in the UK and London plays football. I thought I was gonna, that's where I was gonna go. When I came here, I realized that the football kind of industry here is not as sophisticated. So I lost that dream. And so I was like, yo, I have to figure out another way, which was obviously academics. And then I started my high school journey in Jamaica in grade 10, 10th grade. And so this is 1 year before we're trying to do our exams. Like, you're trying to pick what subjects you going into, what industries you're trying to look at. I chose business and accounting. But like at this time, I'm still like not even interested. Honestly, I'm still like just existing, just going to school every day, getting lunch money, just existing. To the point where when exams came up in grade 11, I was almost sure I was gonna fail. I went to the exams every exam I went, I was like, yeah, this is I'm gonna fail.
Where was your hope at?
It was, trust me, it was low. It was low because again, my mom shipped me out here. She didn't come with me, and I've always been with my mother, right? She shipped me out here with my father. And it was just almost as if I'm 16. I'm just existing at this point. I'm just numb to it all, innit? I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, it is what it is. And at that point, I did the exams. Summer runs off. I spent the whole summer wasting my time, not even thinking about college, because as I said, I am booked to fail. Get the results back, I pass. I like almost like ace most of my subjects. I'm like, holy crap, okay. So my mom even looks at me like, okay. Like both of us are surprised because again, I know she didn't expect me to pass. I didn't expect to pass, right? So we're like, all right, cool. So now we're looking at each other like, what's next? Because again, there was no talk about college, so now we're like, all right, what were we doing? Now, I was given so much trouble in school in Jamaica that they told me I can't come back. Like, you can't come back to sixth form. You can't come back to do 12th grade or 13th grade. You have to go somewhere else. I was like, even though you passed, but you just can't come back.
Wait, so you were doing well academically at this point, like you passed your exams, but they were just like, you have to go to another school?
Yeah, we just don't like how it's my behavior at the time. Again, I'm a London girl at this point as well. I don't take nonsense. It's like, you understand? It's like, yeah, I wasn't groomed. I wasn't as groomed as the other ladies in the school. I wasn't groomed at all, actually, because I had started late. So my behavior was like taboo. It's like, why are you talking back? Why do you have an opinion? Like, and so they didn't like that. They didn't like that. Why are you so different? Why are you so outspoken? And it's like, oh, I don't know. So yeah, we can't come back. So I was like, all right, cool. We end up going to a private school to do 12th grade, 13th grade. And bear in mind, again, I'm still not even taking this school thing seriously. I go into 12th grade, 13th grade, do my, what we call it capes. I think you guys call it A-levels. Do like A-levels. And I fail, like flatline, fail everything, like, right? But I still got accepted to my university. They accepted me based, they accepted me based on the grades from my high school because it was so good. So they accepted me to a banking and finance degree, bachelor's in banking and finance. And I just have to keep repeating this. I'm still not even caring. Like,
even when you got accepted in a university?
I got accepted. I was so happy because I could tell my dad that I didn't fail my exams. But I was like, yeah, I got through, right? And I got through without even doing work as well. I got through, cool. I got through. And the first year, you see, because, habits are so important. You see, because I didn't create a habit for myself to go to class, to study, to read, to do exams, to, to all those stuff, to revise. I thought when I got into college, all of that would have just tapped in, would just snapped in, but not thinking that I have never done this. So why would I do it now? I got into college, man. The first year, I didn't go to one class.
What? Hold on. You didn't go to nothing?
One class. One class. I didn't go to one class. To the point where exams come up, I didn't go to one exam. Now, I'm just chilling. Every day I'm going to school, I'm linking up my friends. Mom thinks I'm going to school, collecting lunch money, yada, 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 chilling. Till end of year comes, GPA reports are coming out. My GPA is 0.00. My school is writing me a letter like, you have to sit this one out. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. You have to sit this one out. I got this letter and I'm like, my mom is gonna beat me. Like, my mom is gonna get on my ass. And my mom and my dad, oh my God. So I think that was my first reality check where I had to purposely, I was forced to sit down and like evaluate my life and it's like, what do you take seriously? Like, what are you doing? Like, and when I got that letter, one thing with me, I hate to fail. I hate to fail, man. Oh no.
You hate
I
to
hate to
fail,
fail.
but you had the
Yeah.
bad habits.
Right. But that's sometimes that's people in life, you hate to fail and then but you don't pattern your habits so you don't fail or you fail less, right? So but then again, think about it. That was my first real failure though. Because again, I failed the exams the last time, but I got into school. So it wasn't really a failure.
It felt like you had like an easy way. It's just like I could get away with doing all this stuff.
Right. So that was my first real failure of someone saying, bro, you need to sit this one out and go and think about what you want to do. Maybe if you want to come back next year. But right now, we're not letting you back in. I was like, what? Like I shot to the ego. I was like, You're trying to call me dunce. You're saying I can't do my thing in school. All right, cool. I took the year off to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. Now, at that time, I spent the whole year making friends because I hadn't gone to class. So I had these two friends, shout out Jordan Cooper and David Colley. They did computer science. But the way they did it, they make it seem so cool. Like Jordan was this hacker. Him and that Cooper would link up and it was just always the guys with the computer and they're always chatting and doing a bag of like stuff. And I'm like, yo, this looks cool. So I was saying, yo, and this is the first time I've actually been introduced to computer science as a study and as a practice, like something you can do in your spare time type of thing. So eventually just observing those two guys, I said, I know the next degree I'm going to do, comp sci. Long story short, that's how I got in. It's like, I got a shot to my ego based on the fact that I wasn't doing well. I thought I could just, can I swear on this platform?
Minimally.
Okay, just sorry, guys. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, but like I thought I could just kind of, not take things seriously, but still get through.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, nah, man. So after the year, I took the year off. I reapplied for the computer science degree program, and I got through. And from there, I started to go to class. And I think it's because it was something I found that I was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what kept me there was the interest, was that the fact that I was learning how to code. And I was like, yo, this is cool. Like I can code, right? And then I was learning how to, what? And I was like, what? And then it was hard. You see things, for me, you see things that are easy. I'm bored. I get bored. But you see things that are hard. And again, because I hate to fail, it's like, yo, I have to do well at this. It was a challenge. It was so hard. It was a challenge. And so I think that's what kept me interested. And then, so that's how I really got into it, was just so much failures that I realized I had to buckle down. And then I was inspired by my friends. And then I took the step.
Okay, so you had that little community to get you stepped up in there, get you a little, entryway in, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to ask you about something. Okay, when you chose like banking and accounting or finance, did you do that because it felt like a safe option?
Yeah, because you know what it is? My father is saying, yo, be a lawyer. So I actually, for that private school that I did 12th grade and 13th grade, I was doing law. I want to do law. What are you doing? Like, but yo, you see me, I love my dad, like I love, if my dad says right now, yo, we're walking to Wayo, I'm walking with him because I love him so much. So it's like, he's saying to me, do law. My sister's an attorney. He's in politics and stuff. So he was like, yeah, do law. We're gonna create this whole family of attorneys. I'm like, all right, sure, I guess, but I didn't like it. So my second thing was like, all right. Remember I said I told you I was doing business, so and accounting at high school level. So I was like, that's the only thing that when the university saw my grades, that was the only thing. That was the only program that really matched up to my grades. So it's not like I chose it; they chose it for me. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's why I didn't go to class. I didn't want to do that. It's like, yeah, they chose a degree for me, and I was like, all right, cool. But I'm not even trying to look at it though. Yeah.
Okay, so it was just like, this matches up here. We're just gonna place you in this, and it was just like, okay, now I can see why the interest really wasn't there. It's like you really did have to go through that to choose your own path.
Yeah, 100%.
So what was your experience like in university, like with your program? Like, was it something you actually learned from, you could take everywhere, since it was basically new to you? Like,
yeah.
How was that?
Do you know it is? My degree, my comp sci program is very theory based. And I'm one of them persons there. If I'm gonna learn something, I'm practical. Like I need a hands-on type of thing, right? So throughout my program, it was a lot of reading and retaining and then regurgitating. There was, to me, traditional school systems overall, they don't really learn, or they don't really focus on how to teach based on how different people learn, right? So for me, school didn't teach me much. It introduced me to a lot, but like to where I am today is literally real world, like internships, jobs, yeah. Like that's how I've really honed in and sharpened what I am now. But school really just introduced me to it. Just because of how I learned. They never taught me the way they taught, the way I learned. It wasn't aligned.
Look, I understand that. It's just like a lot of the stuff that are given in schools that honestly that I could speak from experience of, it's like the same thing repeatedly. It's the same format for every class. Every like school seems like to have the same like module format. You go through these, you're done, you pass the test, you're good. But it just didn't feel like getting my hands on something. And I feel like that's why even in the workforce, like when I finished my internships and finally got my first real job, it didn't feel like I knew anything at all.
Listen, you see when I got my first internship, yeah, I would come home and cry. I cried to my mom. I said, Mom, I don't know nothing. I feel like everyone's past me. I feel like I'm gonna mash up the people at work. I feel like I'm gonna mess up everything. And she was like, yo, is that your second day? I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's just because as I said, I didn't learn how to apply the things, right? I just learned how to understand the things, but I didn't learn how to apply them. So yeah, it's mad.
It really is. Like, I think a lot of things are shifting to like project-based teaching to get you to actually work on things. And, that's cool. But when it's like you get into your job, it's like, okay, this stuff still doesn't apply.
No, it doesn't. And like even my first internship, my boss would say to me like stop being so perfect. Like he recognized. He said he brought me in his office one day. He's like, Wonakee, why is it taking you so long to do stuff? I'm like, because I just don't want to mess it up. And he's like, listen, in the real world, 80% completion is good. Perfection is not a thing. Grow up. And I'm like, wow, they didn't teach me that in school, right? There's a whole different mentality in the real world than that what they're telling you that it is in school. It's like almost not even like the same at all for me. And then in Jamaica now, it's like, no shade to Jamaica still, but you already know it's the Caribbean and, but we're like 10 years behind everyone, right? So what they're teaching me in school, and for me to go and get international client with certain of those technologies, they'll laugh at me like, B, this is what we've been using in '09. So I had to step outside of school and work with certain companies and people for them to show me like, no, that's obsolete now. Now in certain markets we use these tools, and I think you should learn this programming language and this framework. And yeah, and it's just like, why would I have spent so much money in school learning old stuff?
Mm-hmm. And I honestly think it's like the schools don't update their curriculum to like equal stuff that's going out now. Like, I think in my high school, we have like a technical high school, and this is where I kind of picked up my trade. So we were utilizing like Windows 2008, I think. And I was just like, ain't nobody using that no more. Ain't nobody touching that. At minimum, it's like 2012. Like that's at minimum, but everybody has moved up since then.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's the money part. It's certain programs schools just don't put that much money into. And I realized like it really does depend on where you go sometimes. I went to
100%.
So like I went to a school, my college was big on nursing. They were putting money into their nursing program, but when it came to their IT program, it was just like, who are y'all?
No, but that's it. At my school, University of the West Indies, they put hella money into the law building, the law department, the medical building, the medical department, right? But when you go to science and tech building, it's like, what happened down here? It's a serious thing. You can't have a computing program, an IT program, these sorts of programs, and not have certain resources. Because after all, you're trying to create leaders in these industries. That's why you've made them pay so much money to go to your prestigious school. You at least provide the basics, man. And then that's a big reason why my stomach couldn't stand it, man, because it was like you're taking liberties, like like what's really good. And then because I grew up in a first world country and I understand how things can be structured, and then coming here and realizing that things are like 10 years behind, it was like, all right, how do I even maneuver that? How do I still stay competitive even though I'm still confined to this old way of thinking? And big reason why I also joined the morning meetup is because I am physically in Jamaica. So think about it as like I'm physically here, kind of living this life that is 10 years behind everyone. I have to know what other people are doing in other markets who are ahead of me. So I stay competitive in other markets.
That's the key. Like what I want to touch on is, since you got into it with your friend, like you got into the field, seeing your friends do it, and then you did your internships, you took this whole journey. I know you said that you love your dad. How did he feel about you saying, I don't want to do law or nothing like that, I want to do tech? How did he feel about that?
He didn't get it, because when I said that to him, it was like 2012. And he said, when I said it to him, he said, that's cool, but he said to me, you need to do something with computing. I remember this so vividly. Oh my God. He said, you need to do something with computing. Nobody knows just to computing by itself. You need to do something like he didn't get it. He didn't understand. No, you need to do something with it. And I'm like, and then I went and spoke to my same two friends, and I said, yo, my dad said I need to do, and they're like, nah, your dad's capping. Right? Don't worry, you don't need to do anything with computer science. Once you do computer science, you're good to go. And at the time, the guy had just graduated and he was making money, right? So when he said that to me, I kind of parked what my dad said and I didn't do anything else with it. I did a minor in psychology, but that was after realizing how important psychology is to UI UX. That's why I did that. But yeah, my dad didn't get it. But now, oh my God, if this man wants like his computer to be upgraded, oh, he brags about it. Oh, my daughter, this, eh? But it's just now, and then because Jamaica is going through such a huge IT transformation, they're realizing there's pressure from the public to innovate. And so he's realizing the demand for people like us. And he is like, he's all happy with it now, realizing now that attorneys are not doing so well because the field is so saturated here versus IT professionals. Demand is because there's so little of us here and the demand is so high. So 5-6 years down the line, he's realized that I position myself in the right way. Because if I did the law degree, I would be a struggling attorney right now because the field is so saturated.
No, he love you making that decision.
Yeah. Because now he has his own company, he has his own firm. They've recently transitioned into a more technological approach. And who do you think he's calling for advice and consultations? Right. So, but then again, that's another thing is like, we as people, we have to get comfortable with listening to ourselves first. Even if it's our parents telling us something, it's like, we need to be more comfortable with listening to ourselves first, and then probably considering the opinion of others second. I think there's more power in listening to yourself, failing, and then taking someone's opinion second, than just always taking someone's opinion first, even if it's your father, your mother, whatever, right? Because you realize you get to train yourself to always listen to that gut feeling like I did. I had a gut feeling, I was like, what? I'm not doing no law. Whereas I saw what was happening around me. Yeah.
See, I love that you said that because it's a lot of people that just say like, my parents said that I need to do this, and this. Like when I first got into like my first intro to tech class, I asked people, why did you join this class? What are you looking for? It was honestly a lot of people saying like, my family member did this. They told me it'd be something good to do. And then like the next year it started with like 30 of us. And then the next year it was like 12 of us. Those people who said their family convinced them to do it, it wasn't it for them. And I do like have the belief that everybody has a purpose, everybody, has their path and everything. And it's just sometimes your parents can't set your path, but they can provide you advice. So it's really nice to like have that sense of inner self that you can listen to that can guide you in the direction of your purpose. So it's honestly listen to yourself and seek advice.
It's 100%. It's 100% true. Because at the end of the day, for me, the only, like I was saying, like in the UK, I never took school seriously. But like the only class I ever really participated in was IT. The only certificate I've ever received was from IT back in the UK. And my mom will always say to me, like, you've only received 2 certificates in your life is IT. Isn't that a sign from God? Why are you listening to this man talk about lawyer? Right? And she was right. There was the only thing that I didn't know I was good at. It was weird.
That is honestly so crazy. It's just like, yeah, you did have your signals to your path. They were there.
Yeah, 100%. And they're always there. They're always there. You just have to take a step back to see. But they're always there. The signs are always there.
And it's just like the signs are sometimes subtle. They're really subtle. Like I honestly sometimes I need to like talk it out and have somebody like tell me back like, hey, what was happening here? Yeah. Because somebody sees a situation, on the outside, and it could be a really helpful thing to listen and just like, okay, they were telling me this stuff was happening, but it's like you're not gonna notice it in the moment sometimes.
No,
like
no. Yeah.
But who has been the most inspiration to you? Like, I know your parents have been like really involved with, helping you get through your journey. Would you count them as your most inspirational, people for getting started on your tech journey?
Getting started on my tech journey, I wouldn't say it's my parents, no. I would say in that passively, like my friends Jordan and David, they didn't even know they were inspiring me. They were just being themselves. But I'm a very observant person. I'm usually the quietest in the room, so I'm always observing. And so they inspired me a whole lot to even take the step and say, oh, okay, this is what this looks like to be a computer science student. And that, just even seeing that picture allowed me to take that step. But while I was in the program, my lecturer, Bruce McDonald, he's my web dev lecturer. And I started my first internship in networking. We have it's called Mona Information and Technology Services. It's a department on the campus that's just everything IT. We develop software for the school. We troubleshoot laptops. We set up, networks for the school. Anything IT, that's the department. So I got a job at that department, I think in my second year. And I didn't want to do networking, but that was the only position that was available. So I just went for it, got accepted for it. Was doing it for about 10 months till one day Bruce came down to our department. Bruce's at the time was head of software development, which is what I really wanted to do. But I got the job for networking, and I was in the cubicle one day, and Bruce usually comes down and speaks to the other employees there and stuff. And one day he booked me up and said, "Oh, well, you there, sir?" I'm gonna say, "Yeah, mama, yes, I'm there." And he must say, "Oh," he just, having a chat. And I guess the talk led to me saying to him, I actually want to design. Like I just opened up to him. I was like, actually, they don't want to be here. Actually just want to go and design. I want to build stuff. I want to build apps and stuff. I don't really want to be like cutting cables and stuff. It's cool. I mean, but like,
look, I'm a network engineer, so I'm like, man, I don't want to do coding.
It's cool. But it's cool. Like, again, if coding didn't exist, I would do networking because it's cool. But like, I still wanted like that experience. Like, yo, what does it feel like to build something in the real world, design something like, So I said that to him. He was like, what? So we need a designer. We need this. We need that. I'm saying, yo, man, next month you start. No, I'm thinking of that as a joke. I'm like, yeah, haha, next month I start, haha. And no, next month now, he may say, oh, you come back down to the same department. And he's like, why are you still here? I'm like, oh, you're serious? And he was like, yeah, I have work for you upstairs. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the following week, I gave the networking department notice. I said, I'm going upstairs. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And I started building software, designing, back end, front end, just the whole full stack. And that's really when my journey started. And that was because of Bruce McDonald, literally. Because he was there, like, and I told him, this is what I wanted to do. He was in a position to give me that opportunity, and he did. He didn't even hesitate.
Well, you went ahead and spoke it into existence, and it happened. He was just like, start next month.
Yeah, 100%.
That's amazing to have people that are just, able to actually come down, talk with everybody, and help you out. In all honesty, it's just like, this isn't where you want to be. Okay, we can get you over. We can get you over to where you desire, because those are honestly the best people.
And that same man gave me my first internship out of school. So when my degree was starting to finish, and we're realizing that, okay, your degree is finishing, is either you're going to stay and work at this department, or are you going to leave and, branch out outside of campus? And that same man came to me one day and said, yo, I need your resume. We have an IT company getting internships, and I know you're mad for the position. I think you're good for it. Send me your resume now. And I'm like, okay. I didn't ask him for it. I guess him as a lecturer, knowing that I'm in my last year, knowing that, this is gonna be the transition, he just came to me and was like, yo, I have an opportunity for you. Yada yada. Got that job. And yeah, he's now lead DevOps in the company I work for.
Okay. Look, your journey has been fun. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always like these angels that come, like the person you least expect, and this is why you just treat everyone according. You treat everyone well. You treat everyone with respect, because you don't know who's gonna come and give you your next blessing. And that's me. Like, I've always been a cool person. I can talk to anyone from the billionaire to the homeless man. Like, I'm cool like that. So, and so when he gave me the opportunity, it's the same job I was telling you when I got it. Like, almost every day when I run home to my mom, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm crying, like, But then you see that company, big up Spearman. Oh, that company, they're so patient with juniors. The managing director there, Roy McConnell, he's so patient, man. Like, he will just see you doing crap and he's just like, he's like, let me show you something, but like, not in a bad way, it's just like, like, I see the growth. Like, let me show you. And then, like, he's that type of boss where he will send you to do courses. Like, on Black Friday, he'll send you Coursera link and say, yo, go through these and see what courses you need us to get. Always helping us elevate ourselves as juniors, right? And so that company was a big part of Wonakee being in tech, because I kind of strayed, honestly, like, because of my lack of confidence in myself to be good at what I was doing. I actually left the job. One day my friend came to me. One day one of my friends called me. I was like, hey, I got a job for you. These times I'm working at Spear. The same Bruce got me the job. I'm there for like 10 months. Struggling, man. Like, they gave me a web app to build. I built it for about 10 months and it just not working out. And just the lack of confidence in myself. My friend called me one day and said, hey, I got a job opportunity for you as a brand manager for a cannabis company. And I was like, okay. And I took it.
How did that go?
That is what led me to that low point I was telling you about. Because I get into the job with the cannabis company, right? And now I'm not coding anymore. I'm not designing apps. I designed their website. I built their website, but that was the only thing I ever designed and built during my tenure there. I had to be doing radio interviews. I had to be doing just meetings with people, just a lot of people. There was just a lot of people at the time. And being in tech, we're kind of introverts. We like our space, and oh my God, it was just so much people. It was just so much engagement that I wasn't used to. And it really, really took a toll on me, where I felt I was pouring so much into that company, not even pouring into it in a way that was satisfying for me. Like, if I was designing or if I was doing what I loved. And it just got me to a point where I just felt purposeless. Like, what am I doing? God's willing, like, the company laid me off because they weren't making enough money to pay for my position. I was asking them for simple things like a laptop to do my work on. They couldn't, provide it. It's just certain things like that. And, grace of God, they laid me off. And it's weird that someone says grace of God that they lost their job, right? Yeah, but like, lay me off. And, you know, the funny thing is they did me dirty because they cut my pay before they laid me off. So they wouldn't pay me off. Yeah, so they wouldn't pay me off all the money that I was worth. And even that was just like, that's disrespectful, isn't it?
It is.
Man, after I built your company up from the ground, literally there was nothing existing before I came. I built it up to what it was, and then you cut my pay to lay me off because you don't want to pay me what I was rightfully owed. And so after that, I felt so betrayed. Like I was like, I need to leave this country for a bit. And that's what got me to that low point. Yeah, that's how that turned out.
It's interesting, like when you took that job, you kind of stepped out of your purpose. You stepped out of your purpose.
Yeah, yes. And that is why, that's why I got low-key depression over it, because I would look around, I'd wake up and I'll just try and remember, why am I doing this? And I couldn't come up with an answer. Every time I would think about the company that I left. When I was leaving that company, I shed eye water, I cried. I felt like I was betraying them because they gave me my first opportunity just for me to get up and was like, oh, whoa, better opportunity, let me leave. And then when I got the job, it was like, oh my God, I miss coding, I miss designing, I miss being around my computer and like figuring out bugs. Like, I miss that stuff. Like, and so yeah, stepping out your purpose can really do damage on you. Like if you are ever low, if you're ever depressed, if you're ever feeling less purposeful, maybe it's because you've stepped away from something that was divine to you, that was given to you, and you're not ruling over your assignment. And at that time, I wasn't ruling over my assignment, and nothing was really falling into place. So then I left the job. Well, they laid me off, went to Panama for a couple months, came back. And guess what I did? I went right back to my old job. I was like, please, pay me back. Please, I beg. Isn't it? Not really begging, but just like, hey, you guys remember me? Yeah, you still need me around? They're like, yeah, of course. Come in. Hire me back. Yeah, and from then, I kid you not, after leaving that dispensary, my income has multiplied 400%.
Yeah, that's a clap. That's a clap.
Clap it up, clap it up,
right?
clap it up. But that's just what happens when you're operating within your purpose, right? Things just flow, money flows, things flow. You know what I'm saying? And literally stepping back into my purpose, doing what I love, just serving. Yeah.
That is honestly lifted you up back to elevating your life back to, feeling fulfilled.
But you know, it is. If I didn't leave, I wouldn't have realized that was my purpose. Remember, I was saying to you, the reason why I felt it was okay to leave is because I was doing so bad. Like I felt like I was doing bad. I probably wasn't doing bad. But for somebody who's like, has high expectations for myself, I felt like I was doing bad. So because I didn't have that confidence in myself at the time, it was okay for me to leave. But then leaving really made me realize, okay, no, you were actually in the right place. Go back there, but you just need to be more patient with yourself. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Okay, so you were basically a perfectionist and it wasn't going your way. So you were able to gain that.
I grew up.
I
grew up. Yeah. I naturally I'm a perfectionist, but now I'm aware of it. So I work with the 80% rule now. With clients, companies that I work with now. I'm okay with showing work that's not up to what my perfectionist mind would say complete. But it's funny because even at 80%, people are like, oh my God, we love it. Oh, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I guess it's working out anyway.
We are our biggest critic, so I understand how you feel on that.
Yeah.
Like, we have to wrap it up. But
Right.
how can others get to where you are? Like, how would you sum up your journey for those who are kind of just starting out? Like, how they could progress to their next move?
Just find what you don't like to do. Find what you don't like to do. Find what you do like to do, and tap in more into what you like to do. That's it. Really and truly, that's literally what my life was. Just canceling out the things that I didn't like, canceling out the things that bored me, and just ticking off the things that challenge me, the things that interest me. And literally all those things that challenge me and interest me are the things that I'm making money from today.
Okay, for that, I honestly love that because it's easier to find what you don't like.
Facts.
It is
Facts.
just
Because
like,
it's easier to focus on the negative.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what we're wired. Yeah, that's what we're wired to think, to focus on the negative. But it's okay. You can focus on the negative and tick off those things same way. But always remember to think about the things that you do like, indulge in the things that you do like, and find ways to monetize those things.
Like there's somebody for whatever you're doing, pretty much.
That's a fact. That's a fact. There's an audience for everyone.
All right. And also, what is a motivating, insightful quote that has honestly helped you throughout your journey, your ups and downs? What's been keeping your head high?
What's been keeping my head high? Just knowing that my future will be better than my present and exponentially better than my past. And I think that's what keeps my head high. Even just knowing like how I was 6 months ago. No, just looking at where I am now. Imagine me 10 years from now. That gets me excited.
That constant growth.
Yeah, that constant growth is exciting for me. And that's what keeps me pushing. And it will always keep me pushing.
I love that. I need to put that. That's like the hook for the podcast. Like,
yeah.
All right. So thank you for coming on. Let the people know where they can find you. Instagram, LinkedIn, whichever you use. Like, go ahead, say your social media.
Yeah. You can find me on all social media except Twitter. So you can find me on Instagram, Wonakee Amos, at Wonakee Amos, WONAKEE right, at Wonakee Amos. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, but I'm most active on Instagram and LinkedIn.
All right. Look, I'll make sure I link everything in the show notes. Thank you guys for tuning into the podcast where you gain some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding with Wonakee here today. So it was a really great episode. I really hope to bring you back on. And thank you guys for listening and enjoy your day.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Best up.